Hello. How's it going, people? Welcome to the stream. Welcome. And on Sunday, Arsenal are facing Fulham. Nothing more, nothing less. We are driving there down to Cottage, to the Craven Cottage and all that stuff, and we are facing Fulham. Obviously, last year playing against Fulham was, for Arsenal, one of the toughest tasks, arguably, they faced the whole season, given the fact that they took away from us 5 out of 6 possible points. So to this weekend, there's a chance for first time revenge away from, of course, Emirates. So we're definitely going to talk about all that stuff. We're going to look at Coleman Music, aka Mikel Arteta's pre-Fulham game match press conference, where he talked about injuries, where he talked about situations surrounding Arsenal, set pieces and stuff like that. And of course, there are some transfer rumors, some very worrying ones arguably, but also some pretty darn interesting ones to say the least. So we're gonna dive straight into all of that. We're gonna look at things, and we hopefully Arsenal come on top on Sunday. But of course, usually I would do this preview on Saturday, day before, but I'm doing this 2 days before, mostly because tomorrow I don't know if there will be a stream. Currently, I have no idea. Maybe I will make a separate video just to so I can have something to put out, because I cannot stream, because I'm going out with family and everything. Christmas is coming up, and Christmas preparations needs to be sorted out, so we'll see how that goes. So we are doing a preview actually today. So if you're excited about this, if you're gonna get involved, like the stream, like everything. Subscribe if you're new around here, aiming for 400 subscribers by the end of this calendar year, of course, in 25 days. And of course, if you have some topics you want to discuss, leave them down in the chat or comment below. If you're watching this as a playback, or even just want to leave a comment, I answer to pretty much every single comment. So today we're gonna kick things off with, well, something very straight up forward. First things first, we're gonna talk about the game against Fulham. So, Arsenal's schedule this year is this calendar year that has left is actually pretty darn favorable in terms compared to other teams. Of course, Arsenal still has to play against Fulham away, Monaco home in Champions League. It will be a tough game, but we should get a win. Then we play Everton at home, Crystal Palace in the home game in the Carabao Cup. Then we go to Crystal Palace away in the league, which will definitely be a tough game, but Arsenal should be winning. And then, of course, before the year ends on December 27th, we play Ipswich at home. So, in the league, we play Fulham away, Everton at home, Palace away, and Ipswich at home. Games where we should get 4 out of 4 wins, not to mention the fact that we have to play Crystal Palace also at home in Carabao Cup, which should be a win as well to get into semi-finals. And Monaco, if we want to progress through in the top 8, definitely is a must-win game as well. So basically, with 6 games left, starting from from December 8th till the end of this calendar year of 2024, in my opinion, Arsenal definitely should be getting 6 wins out of 6, thus giving us 18 points over across all the competitions. So, first things first, Coleman Music. Let's see what Mikel Arteta had to say today for Fulham pre-match game conference. So he talked about injuries, as we talked about, as we mentioned, about Gabriel, about Calafiori. He talked about set pieces and what's involving and other stuff. Also, of course, he talked about Airpod Albert of signing a new deal, and he talked about Jover, our set piece coach, as well. So, kicking things off with injuries, we have a few. Obviously, it's match day 2, minus 2. I assume he means in 2 days. So we have to monitor a few players. We have a training session tomorrow, so we will see how everybody is for Sunday. On how he would rate Gabriel's chance of playing, until we see tomorrow training session, it's very difficult to say something. Calafiori is the same. Whether Calafiori's injury is slightly longer term, let's see how they evolve. So they're becoming Pokemon somehow. They're gonna go from, I don't know, from Bulbasaur to Ivysaur, and finally they're gonna become a Calafiori in next few days. So basically, there are also some rumors and reports flying around that obviously in the main training on the pitch, on the ground, there were no Gabriel and there was no Calafiori, but they were training separately in the facility. So this means either they cannot go into full contact training, first of all, or it's again, as Zinchenko said in his book, Arteta likes to play dark cards. He likes to play he likes to play with basically cards held close to his chest without revealing any information, trying to deceive the opposing side. So Gabriel and Calafiori's game basically depends on whether they are good and whether Arteta is playing mind games or not, because there's a possibility if they're not prepared and they're not ready, on Sunday we will see again Zinchenko and Kivior. Big up chance for that. And as much as I would not be too scared, because we saw how they played against Man United, the thing is Man United never posed pretty much any threat going forward. Let's be real, playing at Craven Cottage, Fulham at home, game against Fulham for us is going to be much harder than the game against Manchester United. I expect Fulham to come against us, and on that left side we have Zinchenko, and on the right side for Fulham, obviously Reece Nelson has also I think he has some sort of injury as well. On the right side for Fulham they have Adama Traore. So Zinchenko versus Adama Traore already is a bit of a trouble in that regard spelling, so we'll see how that goes. On being the league corner kings, we want to be kings of everything. At set pieces, the best in the world. At high press, the best in the world. Attacking open spaces, the best in the world. We want to be the best atmosphere in the stadium and be the best at everything. I'm not sure he's quoting DJ Khaled like we the best, or Tina Turner, you're simply the best, but he wants to be the best, let's be honest. Before it was about we didn't score enough, we were so defensive in our mentality, we were not physical enough and could not challenge the top teams, and going 22, 17, 20 years without winning away from home in big matches. We want to be the best at everything. We want to have the best academy, the best individual development for players, recruit the best players and have the best coaches. I'm not gonna lie, his actions are speaking much quieter than his words that he's stating right now, but we will see. That's the aim, and now we have to go and do something else. It will be a tough task, 100%. Game against Fulham will not be easy, 100% can guarantee you that much. On how hard Declan Rice and Bukayo are working on corners, they work like any other kind of finishing. We constantly want to be a threat from everything that we do, and we have to take opportunity to make it count and be a threat. And let's be real, Arsenal actually had a plan B for a change, because one of the biggest criticisms of Mikel Arteta for me was the fact that he only has plan A and he has no plan B, no plan C, no plan D during games, and if the plan A fails, we have deer in the headlights look and we look stumped. And against Man United, how they set up was to try and nullify our game on the pitch in open play. That was the plan A for Arsenal, which obviously they exceeded quite a bit, I'm not gonna lie. But Arsenal had a plan B, set pieces, and that worked like a charm. And the more plans we have, in these instances even plan C or plan D, to kind of try and throw different curveballs at the opposing side when we attack, the better we will be, the more dangerous we will be, and the bigger chance that we're gonna win something major very soon, of course. On how we identify Declan as a corner taker, we adapt the player's qualities to what the team needs to exploit the qualities we have in the squad in the best possible way. It's all about the players, every tactic, decision and position on the pitch and towards that. Pretty much straightforward answer. On being compared to Stoke City, I understand very well that Roberto Martinez said it was the best possible way, so we will take it. Big compliment, because we were so good at it. And let's be real, if this was that easy, everyone would be doing it. Let's be real. At the same time, everyone knows what Arsenal are gonna do, what's gonna happen on corners and stuff like that, but they still cannot defend it. So it's not Arsenal. I know that opposing fans are crying and everyone's made such a fuss about it. Even Arsenal fans themselves, they have elevated this as a very massive thing on social media that it has blown up. Let's be real. But ultimately, at the end of the day, if you recall old type of football, let's just say 15 years ago, on corners there was player per player marking, man marking basically. Let's just say you assign Saliba to cover who we just played, I forgot, United. So Saliba covers forgot his name, De Ligt, for example. Kivior covers covers the other center back in Maguire, and so on and so on and so on. But these days, the issue is that it's a zonal marking. There are no player covers, and that is the case. Because zonal marking kind of requires the players stand still, and they all stand still, let's be real. The defensive side at least. And Arsenal just found a way around it. They just stepped out of the zones, and when the cross comes in, they just run into the zones, causing chaos. And it's working because when you come at speed at the ball, there's pretty much a guarantee you're going to jump higher than the defender from the static position. So that already gives an advantage in that regard. And nobody knows who and how to mark. So at the end of the day, it could be two guys on one ball. Or it basically could, at the end, know that Saliba is trying to out-jump, for example, I don't know, Ahmad on a corner. And that basically results in a goal, and that is a big thing. On top of that, let's be real, goalkeepers are very protected these days in the box. So goalkeepers maybe should also try throwing themselves at the cross, at the players, and just go down when they feel contact from the opposing side. More chances than not, the referee will call a foul, and let's be real, the moment will be done and there will be no goal. There's no argument about the fact that at some point Arsenal will get figured out. On corners, the way they run in, the way they try to cross the ball, and the way they want to try and score from the corners. And then Arsenal will have to adapt again, because in the beginning of the season it wasn't working. Then all of a sudden it started working, and at some point it won't work again, and Arsenal will have to find new ways to score, to have new plans to try and score when they are in open play. The plans don't work when there's the mid-low block, something like that is happening, and Arsenal cannot get through. Ultimately, it's a chess game, and at some point someone will find something unique, like Arsenal have found corners, but corners have been a part of the game for since basically football has been invented. And let's be real, corners, we just take best advantage of it that you can. It's just the fact that other teams cannot defend this, and they just moan because they don't know how to utilize them to the biggest expense. Because Arsenal have a distinct set-piece coach to coach them on defensively and in the attacking side. There are teams who don't have set-piece coaches, and those are the teams, and those teams have the fans who moan the most about the fact that Arsenal are Stoke City. They score from corners and do all these things that technically their teams cannot do at the end of the day. And that's not our fault, it's their fault. Let's be real. Let them cry about it. Let them genuinely cry about it. This is what it is. We are just taking advantage of the best opportunity we can get at the end of the day. On how he identified Declan as a corner tag, we talked about that. On Martin Odegaard's importance. He's a massive player. He showed again in big matches that he can deliver. The spirit that he brings to the team and the quality that he has to play in the way we have to play. So I'm really, really happy. Against United, he wasn't that great. Let's be honest with ourselves. Let's not gaslight anyone here. On Fulham, it's going to be a big challenge which we experienced last year when we lost 5 points against them. Yes, last year against Fulham, we lost 5 out of 6 available points. And let's be real, genuinely, Fulham is the reason why Arsenal didn't win the title. Because people like to moan that Arsenal lost the title against Aston Villa in the second part of the season when we went like 14 or 15, 1-1. It wasn't then. We lost the title when we drew against Fulham at home, against 10-man Fulham. We lost the title in December when we lost to Fulham, when we went 1-7. We lost it then. We didn't lose it against Aston Villa. Because any loss we turn into a win, or a draw we turn into a win from the first part of the season until the end of the year last year, we win the league. There's no argument about that. So let's be real, the Aston Villa game was not the reason why we lost the league. It was already happened before, more or less. Big up Marlon, big up my guy, big up in the chat. On Fulham's ex-Arsenal contingent. Yeah, Fulham have quite a few ex-Arsenal players. They have Leno, they have Emil Smith-Rowe, they have Iwobi. Reece Nelson at the moment is injured, so he couldn't have played either way because of loan rules. They used to have Willian and played, I think, Chambers as well, if I'm not mistaken, something like that. They have quite a few ex-Arsenal players. I'm really happy for them. Reece is still one of our own, but the rest as well. It will be great to see them. Whether he's still in touch with Emil Smith-Rowe, don't care. Let's be real. Once you leave the club, the contact kind of fades. Let's be real, you focus on your team, the manager focuses on his team. You kind of contact over the time at some points, but overall it's not the same anymore. On whether we've done things differently this season to avoid a poor run. It's a bit different with the period that we are in and what we have coming from. But that's the demands of this league. Every game, it's so difficult. At that time as well, we lost a few games, so it was never harder. So things do much better than last year, that's for sure. Yes, you can say that. But the issue with Arsenal is, every single season, Arsenal have that period of 5 to 6, 7 games where they drop points. They have that period. Either it's one big cluster like it was last year, or it happens over time. Like two clusters that kind of spread out, 3 games and 4 games, or 4 games and 4 games, or 2 and 4 and 2 and 3, something like that. It happens in a row, and it tends to happen in the most opportunistic time for every other team and at the worst time for Arsenal. It tends to happen. It was like that 2 years ago, it was that also last season. So that is a big issue. Arsenal need to get out of this. The toughest months for Arsenal have always been, in my opinion, November and December, sometimes February. So time only will tell. Maybe not as much February now, but more likely December, because December is the toughest month you can imagine, because you play games every third day pretty much, especially if you play in all the cups, Carabao, FA, not FA because they played in January, but Carabao Cup, League, Champions League, wherever you play, you have to play it every third day. And then the squad depth comes into play. Because currently Arsenal are kind of hanging by a thread in certain positions. Because if due to this very rough schedule that happens every year and Arsenal are not prepared for it, something happens, it could get long. And that is something nobody wants to see, no Arsenal fan wants to see. And that poor run can also start. We already have gone through a poor run due to injuries. But that mostly also, kind of you can say, was due to injuries. But there have been times when Arsenal have full 11, their best players, and still they go on a very poor run. And as much as I hope that it doesn't happen, there will be a drop off at some point. Let's just hope it doesn't happen in a very bad time overall. On Jurriën Timber's growth, I'm really impressed. He's coming from a long-term ACL injury. We knew the talent, the leadership, the skill he has. It's been a great form. He gives us something very different to any other fullback we have in the team. And his impact has been tremendous, I think. And when you read the quotes like that, yeah, it must be painful to be Benjamin White. Because when your manager is speaking this highly about a different player who plays in your position, it can go very poorly for you. And yes, that could also inspire Ben White to work more, work harder and everything. But Ben White has said himself, he outside of playing the games, going to training and watching and doing stuff like that, he doesn't watch football. And for a footballer who needs to improve on consistent basis to stay up the pace with the developments of the game, it's not a great sign. And Jurriën Timber, since he stepped in, since he has come back from the ACL injury, yes, it took some time. There were some fitness issues and stuff like that. You could see that ACL injury was kind of trying to pull him down again in a way with these minor injuries here or there. Now that he has recovered, you can tell he's in a very good shape. Bukayo Saka absolutely loves playing with him, as Bukayo Saka has said it in interviews as well. And now Mikel Arteta is even saying that he really loves Jurriën Timber. He loves him as a right back. He has something very different, something unique that no other fullback at Arsenal provides. And he's speaking about it in a very positive manner, which means Ben White could be on the outs a bit. I'm not gonna lie. But to be honest, I must say, when Ben White comes back, unless there's a massive drop of form on Jurriën Timber, I want him to play. I don't want Arteta to do his usual favoritism thing and play his favorite players over anyone who is in form. So let's just put it out there straight away. On the set piece record and attention on his coaching staff, well, it's great. We are very good at a lot of things. On how people now view set pieces, well, something has changed from 10, 11 years ago. Not only that it's related to set piece, but also other styles of play. Yeah, football is evolving and Sometimes some things develop, sometimes get forgotten, yet it just genuinely like 10, 15, 20 years passes, and the things that get forgotten about come back into play, and the things that were actually on fire in those 20 years kind of fade away. And that happens to positions, to player position specific ones. That happens to styles, to tactics and certain things. Because these days we play completely different football. If you compare the football we played, let's say 15 years ago, 20 years ago, completely genuinely different football. And it's evolving. It's going in a circle partially, but it's evolving all the time. So it will be very interesting, because at some point football will be going back from this 4-3-3, 4-2-3-1 back to 4-4-2 or 4-4-1-1, something like that. And it will be very interesting to see how that impacts the game of football overall. On keeping his backroom staff with new deals, and that is the question about Jover, that is question about Albert, Airport Albert, and some other coaching staff members, because they all have been re-signed on an extended deal till end of season on 2027. That's basically when Mikel Arteta's contract runs out as well. We all try to do it at the same time. It's difficult because it's always 4 or 5 people that have to commit at the same time. It's not easy to do it, but I'm happy with them. I value them at the highest level, and we want to continue together, so hopefully it will be resolved very, very soon. And let's be real, Mikel Arteta fought tooth and nail to sign Jover from Man City. He fought tooth and nail to get him. And let's be real, you could arguably make a claim that Jover has been the best signing Arteta has made as an Arsenal manager, as wild as it sounds. You could actually kind of make that statement now. Because the way he has coached set pieces, especially corners, for Arsenal, it's something unique, it's something special, it's something that no other club in Europe even has. And the way we exploit it, it counts up for a massive chunk of goals we score now for the last 2 seasons. It will be a massive part of the goals we score overall. Saka and Odegaard needs to crush them. Fulham ruined the Exactly. Fulham ruined us last year. They took away 5 out of 6 possible points. Especially when we against 10-man Fulham at home. That was embarrassing to say the least. So this year we need to take some revenge, and in a very emphatic fashion to actually absolutely destroy them, to say the least. In my opinion, at least, that would be the best way to do this. On being reunited with Emil Smith-Rowe, it is what it is. On the depth in 10 position, that is very important, because number 10 spot where Odegaard plays is very, very thin position, arguably, for Arsenal at least. Because in the summer we had Smith-Rowe, Fabio Vieira, Odegaard, and also we promoted Ranieri full-time to the first squad. But then we decided to sell Emil Smith-Rowe because he wanted to leave, let's be real. We loan out Fabio Vieira, and that has left a massive gap. Yes, Ethan Ranieri showed in pre-season that he's ready, he should start, but here we are. We are half a season nearly in, and he hasn't started a game in Premier League yet. He plays maximum 20 minutes, unless it's Carabao Cup against Preston or Bolton, where he plays a full 90. We allowed Vieira to go as well because we wanted to create the room and the space for Ethan. He has given us every reason to trust him. He's shown that he's ready to make the next step, and it's great to have him. I know he's saying this stuff, right? But his actions, when he selects 11, when he selects substitutions, kind of show completely different picture. Because when Odegaard was injured, it kind of would stand to reason that he would play, but he didn't. He barely got subbed on. And that is a very opposite action of the statement he has made here about Ethan Ranieri. And that is a bit of a worry, but it is what it is. On Martin's combination of performance and character, everybody's unique. Martin's unique, his character, personality, the way he's been raised and educated in the highest level. He's everything that he wanted to have to represent our club and the team in the best possible way. Blah, 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 blah. Now, what else is here? On specific improvements for Martin, he needs to shoot more. shoot more from the edge of the box. He needs to shoot more in general. He needs to stop overholding the position and give some risky passes when there's open gaps. And he needs to learn how to use his right foot because he's pretty much one-footed. At least 3-4 things I named there that would make him, I would say, raise the level of his game by 2-3 levels at least. I'm not gonna lie. On being the team, being trailblazers when it comes to set pieces, I just want to get better on whatever we do. Blah blah blah. Be the best as always. On the success we had on set pieces, dude. This interview pre-game for Fulham. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 questions. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 24 questions in this interview, right? 24. One. I'm counting how many set piece questions. 1, 2. 3, 4 already. 5, 6. No, 6, 7, 8. So out of 24 questions in this pre-match interview for game against Fulham, he got asked 8 questions regarding the set piece situation. So 33.3% of the interview was solely about set pieces, corners, free kicks and stuff like that. What? I'm not gonna lie, as much as it is a big weapon, as much as it is pure on PR, and the way it has been now kind of chefed here, it's embarrassing. 33% of questions have alone been about set pieces. Dude, there was genuinely 3 questions about the game in general. That's it. Now that's a different level of embarrassing. Anyhow, moving swiftly on. Apparently, according to Fichajes, not sure how true is that or not, because they are semi-reliable, some say unreliable, because they are coming out with lots of stuff. Some of the stuff is true, some of the stuff is hit and miss, but Gabriel Calafiori is on Real Madrid's radar as they continue to search for players to improve their defense. Now, we all know that Real Madrid have sent scouts to watch William Saliba, to Spurs games, to Champions League games, and all that stuff. But let's be real, Saliba mostly plays with Gabriel in a tandem, and it definitely caught their eyes that Gabriel also is a massive enforcer in that regard. And if you look from Real Madrid's perspective, if they want to sign a center back, it will be big money. Let's be real first of all. The thing is about this though, in this current situation, in my opinion, it would be easier to kind of lure away from Arsenal Gabriel than Saliba. At least right now. If you did it tomorrow, potentially Gabriel would be easier to lure away than Saliba. Saliba yesterday came out and said that he just wants to win the Premier League. Now, if it doesn't happen this season and or maybe next season, not sure how that statement will hold up, because there's a big possibility that he might leave either way, which is not a great look. Genuinely not a great look. Before the game against, of course, Fulham, Alex Iwobi has spoken about Arsenal, because when he was at Arsenal, he obviously he's an Arsenal product, so we kind of had to sell him. Got some decent money for him, I'm not gonna lie. But Alex Iwobi on leaving Arsenal, I wanted to have my own legacy. I didn't want to be that kid that's just an academy product. I wanted to grow as a man as well and challenge myself, which actually stands to a reason, stands to a point. This is something similar what also Emil Smith-Rowe has done. He wants to grow, he wants to build his own legacy, he has to grow as a man, and he wants to challenge himself, which stands to a point. Because when you come up in these big teams like Barcelona, Real Madrid, Arsenal, United, City, Liverpool, all the big teams, Bayern Munich, Inter Milan, if you come through their academies and it's pretty visible that you are not gonna be one of their main guys and you will be at best a bench player of rotation, let's be real. if you have any ambition to be a footballer, more likely than not, you will go and say, I want to leave. And you will go to another club where there's, yes, a smaller club, let's be real, but you have more guaranteed minutes. You have more guaranteed minutes. There's a big chance you could be a starter and you can build your own legacy there as one of their main guys, and you have a chance to success with that club being there. And that is a big thing. That is a big thing. Exactly. He was from our academy, and that's what I'm saying. He was from our academy. But the thing is, it's similar like Emil Smith-Rowe. It came to a point where it was kind of visible that either manager doesn't trust him enough or he's just not good enough in this regard. So he had to go away and build his own legacy and go and try and achieve his own greatness somewhere else. Emil Smith-Rowe has done it. Let's see how that goes. Iwobi has done it. Iwobi is in a very great form right now. Very good for Nigeria. Very decent for Fulham as well. One of their arguably main guys now. So he has done it the right way. Because let's be real, at Arsenal, at best he would be a squad player. At best. There's no chance he would play in front of Saka. No chance Arteta would play him in midfield. Or even before that Emery and stuff like that. No chance he would be a left winger. Let's be honest ourselves. Whenever he was playing, he felt that he was a bit short in terms of skill, ability and everything. And it showed. But for a team like Fulham, Crystal Palace, for these mid-table teams, he is amazing. Let's be honest. He is amazing. Gnabry was done dirty. Gnabry was our product and he was done dirty. Because he went out on a few loans. It didn't click for him here. He went to Werder Bremen. He clicked there in the first season. And then he went to Bayern Munich. And pretty much rest was history. He has won multiple titles and everything there. And he has cemented his legacy. I'm not gonna lie. He has cemented his legacy right there as well. Regarding Arsenal playing Manchester United in the FA Cup next year, obviously the first draw when it came out, it was talked about that it will be January 11th, if I'm not mistaken. It was next month. I think it was January 11th, yeah. But now it has been kind of postponed, confirmed that Arsenal will face United at the Emirates. Third round on Sunday, 12th of January, 3 p.m. UK time, and if you are from UK, it will be live on BBC. So good luck if you have BBC. Because as much as I have watched UK commentary, I cannot stand it to save my life. I'd rather watch it on mute than do anything else. But yeah, Arsenal are facing Man United in the FA Cup on January 12th, 3 p.m. So for me, that's 5 p.m. on Sunday. Let's see what happens then in that regard. Yeah, Man United fans are calling us set piece FC, and let them call us that. It's not our fault that they are so bad that over the years they cannot hire proper coaches because they are a very wealthy club, cannot hire a very rich, wealthy coach that can manage their set pieces defensively and offensively. They don't know how to use it as a weapon. Because nobody cared that other teams were scoring corners. But Arsenal found a way to make it actually a very, very useful thing in their footballing game, and they just are not happy. Because if it was Liverpool, if it was United, nobody cared. But it's only because of Arsenal. Nobody was complaining when other teams are getting penalties left, right and center almost every weekend. All of a sudden Arsenal start to get corner goals and corners every single game and they score from them. All of a sudden it's not fair. They're just mad they can't defend. Exactly. Because if it was this easy, everyone would do it. In the attack and in the defense. It's not our fault that we have found a way to actually maximize it to the best of abilities to help us push forward. Last year, since beginning of last season, of 23-24 season, Arsenal till this day have scored 23 or 24 corner goals. This season it's been 5, last year it was 19 or 18. So about 15 were in Premier League if I'm not mistaken. We scored 90 goals plus last year. So basically about 17-18% of all goals we scored last year was from set pieces, was from corners. So Arsenal have found a way to make these situations to the best of their abilities to help us. I'm not gonna hate on them. They play good, but we won't. Exactly. We just played by the book in a way. Yes, they kind of tried to nullify us on the pitch in open play. They succeeded in it to some extent. Let's be honest ourselves. We didn't create at certain aspects. They shut down our right side. Havertz had a chance. He missed it. Martinelli missed his chance and everything. But ultimately, that's not only. Open play is one way to play football and to score. Then there's penalties, set pieces and everything. And Arsenal take advantage of that. Exactly. First half they did good. Second half they disappeared. The set piece coach is him. He shouldn't be assistant coach. Let him be set piece coach. Let him focus on his craft. By the way, if you're confused why I'm looking right there, it's because there's fireworks going on. Kind of love fireworks, so I'm kind of very interested what's happening there. Big up Arsenal Manic. United fans using the corners excuse to make themselves feel better. We've scored 15 goals in the past 4 matches. They've scored 2 jammy injury time goals in Champions League final, having been so. Exactly, that's the thing. They basically they're moving goalposts. That's what it is about. Because it works until there fits their narrative. They're gonna move it until it fits their narrative. Because Arsenal were not getting penalties a few seasons ago for many calls. United were getting penalty calls left, right, and center. Nobody was complaining about that. Genuinely, United fans were not complaining about that whatsoever. Arsenal do. Arsenal get a penalty. All of a sudden, it's the end of the world. Arsenal know how to use penalties. It's the end of the world. Like it's not. It's just like, let's be real. They just want to hate for the hate's sake, because Arsenal are going for a title. They are in a title charge, and they have found a way to maybe maximize certain things that other teams and clubs don't. And that's it. They have proper coaches in specific areas to maximize the potential of certain aspects of the game. It's not our fault they cannot do it, that they cannot coach to defend their set pieces or score from their set pieces. We have done it. That's it. Move on. Get good. Anyways, Arsenal Player of the Month awards so far this season have been Saka, Raya, Saka. Very, very interesting in that regard. Since I would argue actually that is actually true. Because David Raya, you could arguably make a point that has been top 3 player for Arsenal this season. Because in August, for sure, he single-handedly, and early September, both of those months, even September, he single-handedly saved Arsenal. In the first game against Wolves, in the game against Aston Villa even Watkins missed an empty net, double save against Atalanta in Champions League. It's actually insane how only 2 players have 1 Player of the Month. As good as it is, especially goalkeeper, because David Raya doesn't get spoken enough, in my opinion, in terms of how good he is for Arsenal, how useful and how consistent he is for Arsenal. He makes an odd save here or there, like for example against United from De Ligt's header, but I think he doesn't get praised enough. The way he came in, how big part of the fan base were booing him and chanting Ramsdale's name while Raya was in goal for Arsenal. The heat he had to take before they realized that Raya is actually good. Like, props to Raya. Raya has been actually quite phenomenal for Arsenal, to say the least. He is very underrated for Arsenal this season, and he also is very underrated in general by many fans and many pundits as well. The set piece cooking with the set piece for us if Gabriel played, he would have... Exactly! Gabriel didn't play against them with all the set... Exactly, that is the thing. United got 0 corners against us. We had 2 goals. United had 2 shots on target. United had 0 corners. You cannot score a corner if you don't have a corner, first of all. Let's be real, Merino could have scored from a corner, had open header. Partey could have scored in the first half, don't know how he missed that. And there were other opportunities. We could have, from corners alone against United, score about 5 goals. It could have been absolute dismantling of United. We could have pulled another Liverpool on them with 5, 6, 7, nothing. Easily. It just we lacked the finishing touch again, unfortunately. Remember Solskjaer and Sheringham? Exactly, 2 goals from corners, yeah. Bends it like Beckham, 2 goals. see the armpits. But that doesn't count. That doesn't count. Doesn't fit the narrative, does it? Yeah, Raya, to be honest, if you count the first games of the season, for example, that save against Strand Larsen to deny 1-1, double save on Watkins against Villa, where it could have been 1-0 if he didn't save that. Double save on Retegui against Atalanta. He has made multiple insane saves just to keep us level or help us win the game. Even against Brighton, when we were down to 10 men, Nayari, I forgot how you pronounce that name. He had a chance to score. There was 70% empty net, and Raya saved that shot. Like, Raya has saved our bacon big time this season. Very underrated, in my opinion, in terms of Arsenal's season overall by many Arsenal fans. Exactly, he's underrated. He's such a great key. Exactly. Big up Arsenal. Big up Arsenal Manic. Big up. Yeah, if you haven't still, like and subscribe, people. He has saved so many goals. Exactly. Raya is awesome. He should be talked about more. But there are certain things that don't get talked about enough on the pitch. Let's be real. Like, some things go unnoticed, or certain aspects overshadow the performance of other things. Like, let's be real. And it's always gonna be like that in football. Someone will be forgotten in the mix. It's the same like, if you recall, prime Barcelona. For countless years, they had midfield of Xavi, Iniesta, and Busquets. And in that time, all the talk from the midfield point of view, 8% of the time was about Xavi and Iniesta. Xavi, Iniesta. Did you see pass by Iniesta? Did you see how Xavi and Iniesta connect, how they have that ESP and distribute the ball? And Busquets was the forgotten man in all of that. Despite the fact that he was sitting in the six, he was disrupting the play, distributing the ball, dribbling past defenders. He was skilling and doing everything. But he was the forgotten man. In my opinion, also, that number 6 role where Busquets, specifically in that Barcelona team, was playing, was very, very underrated. Especially Busquets. He was very underrated as a 6, in my opinion. He doesn't get talked enough about. Genuinely. What about Odegaard is Odegaard. If Odegaard wants to be this big guy, he needs to stop going missing in the big games. He needs to stop doing that. That is one of the biggest drawbacks about Odegaard. He goes missing way too often. Same goes for Bukayo Saka. He goes missing also quite a bit. Sometimes in the most important times when Arsenal need him the most. That is the big thing that kind of separates big men from the boys in a way, if you can say it that way. Because when it matters, they should be stepping up, but they somehow disappear in the mix. They get pressed out of the game. They get slowed down instantly. They don't find another way how to influence the game. Besides, basically, if you look at Odegaard, press and passing. And if you shut him down from passing, it's done pretty much. He came, arrived, outside. Yeah, he does that, but the performances should be speaking louder than words. And sometimes, basically, when you look at these games, since he's come back in a game against Forest, against Sporting, against West Ham, yes. Against United, no chance. They went missing. United did very well to set up the way to overload that right side with Malacia, with Maguire and everyone else, to shut them down. And it happened, let's be real. They had few moments here or there, but ultimately, if you looked at the span of all 90 minutes, it was for their standards, very average performance. Don't push these narratives. Don't even say stuff like that. We don't do that here. Either you call him out or just don't even talk about him. I don't want to big up players for nothingness. We already touched on this, but yeah, AirPod Albert, as we all know, Nicolas Jover, Carlos Cuesta, Miguel Molina, and Iñaki Caña are all in final stages of contract extensions at Arsenal. They are expected to match Mikel Arteta's recent renewal till 2027, along with a significant pay raise. All the coaches are getting pay raise and everything. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens with that with them. Hopefully it goes well. Hopefully it does well for them, and everything flies, and we actually win a title. Because in this current stage, it's a title or bust in a way. And this is news which is very mixed, very mixed emotions I have about. Very mixed emotions I have about these news. Genuinely, I'm not kidding. Very mixed emotions I have about these news. Our architects have already started to work on a 500 million Emirates Stadium revamp. Reports suggest that work has already begun on upgrading Emirates Stadium, while expansion plans are being considered too. According to the reports, Arsenal have already begun the groundwork to upgrade and potentially even expand their Emirates Stadium home, with some work already being completed. The start of 24-25 season has been littered with rumors that Arsenal are set to explore options to potentially expand the capacity of the Emirates Stadium in a bid to boost matchday revenue for the club. Now, just months later, these plans are slowly being actioned as the Arsenal hierarchy look to take the first steps towards a very expensive, though ultimately lucrative, expansion. According to TBR Football, Arsenal have enlisted the help of London-based architecture firm Populus, I don't know, to explore possible options to increase the capacity of the North London home. Populus were the firm who originally designed the Emirates Stadium, and more recently their expertise was shared with the Gunners' Bath North London rivals Spurs after designing their brand new 1.2 billion stadium, currently named the Toilet Bowl. TBR Football also revealed that the Populous have already commenced work at Emirates Stadium after being commissioned to redesign the existing kitchens at Emirates Stadium, an admittedly minor feat in comparison to a stadium expansion which could cost upwards £500 million. Now, I have very mixed feelings about this. Because, yes, Emirates needs a revamp. It needs a small rebuild, at least cosmetic one, because it looks a bit dated, because it was built in 2004. Let's be real, long time has passed and the technology and everything has developed and it needs a bit of a revamp, let's be real. But the seat increase as well. Even if they increase it by 20,000 or stuff like that, it's still a bit of an interesting one, because it's already impossible to get tickets to Arsenal games. It doesn't matter if you increase it by 20k. Okay, 20,000 more people will come to the games. Let's be real. That's good. The revenue will increase. 100% also the ticket prices will increase. And at the end of the day, the way I have seen, the way I have talked with people, I've seen people talk about the ballot system and everything, it's a complete shit show in a way. Because the people who have silver tickets and everything, they didn't get a chance to go to a home game. And that is a bit of a yikes one, because there are people who have supported Arsenal for 30-40 years and they have a silver ticket and they cannot get a ballot, they have no chance to go into the games. Some buy season tickets and are lucky to go to the games. And if you don't go to at least, 16 out of 18 home games, right? You cannot renew it for the next season. What a load of crap as well is that. And then it's a bit of a travesty, I'm not gonna lie. But ultimately, we'll see what's gonna happen with this, because Arsenal currently have the most expensive season tickets in Europe. And that's already bad. The one you have to buy for Arsenal season ticket alone, the simple one, right? You can buy premium season ticket, including the catering and everything, in, for example, for Bayern Munich in Allianz Arena. All the premium stuff you can get, you can buy for cheaper than the base price of Arsenal's base season ticket. That doesn't include your boxes and everything. It's actually insane how expensive Arsenal tickets are. Some of the most expensive, not the most expensive ones in the league and in the Europe. That is not a great look. And now with expanding the Emirates, obviously, it means that there will be more seats. And the only way Arsenal can expand this, by the way, is only going upwards. Because the roof has kind of dented in, so they can kind of raise it to go like this. The railway goes around it, houses are around it and everything. They won't tear it all down, so there's no chance in hell of that happening, which ultimately means that they can only expand upwards at the end of the day. So we'll see what's going to happen with that. And I generally believe that Emirates need also a cosmetic revamp in general, from the outside and from the inside. It looks a bit dated and everything, I'm not gonna lie. Even though it's a great stadium, when it just was built, it was the most modern stadium. It had a massive wow factor when you looked at it. But now when you look at the stadiums around the world that get built in Premier League, in not even to mention the USA or Saudi Arabia, who they have endless chunks of money and everything, it looks a bit dated. I'm not gonna lie, it looks a bit dated, but I guess at the end of the day, it is what it is. But now we're gonna come to this. We're gonna try and build our own starting 11. We're gonna try and predict the starting 11 for game against Fulham, which one you would want to see and how it could actually look. So here goes. Nothing, basically. We're gonna try and look. It all depends obviously on injuries. It all depends on situations, how everything goes. They are back, but the thing is, Gabriel and Calafiori are training separately. From what I understand, I read today, they were not training on the pitch with the team. They were training separately in the Soba Center. So they were not kind of in the physical contact. Whether it's true or not, I have no idea, because in the pictures they were not there. And the second of all, whether it's also the so-called dark cards that Zinchenko describes in his book about Mikel Arteta playing mind games with the opposing side, who knows? But Calafiori has a bit more serious injury than Gabriel. We'll see what's gonna happen. There are also rumors that Gabriel and Calafiori actually could have played against United. They just didn't want to risk a further injury getting worse. So this actually could mean that there is actually less chance of that. Genuinely less chance of that. So we'll see how that goes. Tierney, Gabriel, Saliba, Timber-Rice, Odegaard, Nwaneri, Trossard, Havertz, and Saka. That would be your 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Without the goalkeeper. Nice, you're playing without the goalkeeper. That's kind of unique. Just kidding, just kidding. Anyways, if all falls flat, I'm not gonna lie, I would put out... I'm not gonna lie, I would stick with the 11. With the backline at least, that we had against United. The only issue for me with this is that, yes, we have Zinchenko, Kivior on the left side. Yes, they had a very decent game against United. But as soon as Zinchenko got cooked by Ahmad once, Arteta pulled him off. The question is, if we start these two, and there's a big possibility that Adama Traore will start on the right for Fulham. And that is the thing. Zinchenko against Adama Traore is already disaster waiting to happen. Against Kivior, it's a bit different, arguably, but overall, of that left side, it's already a disaster waiting to happen. So we'll see how that goes, but ultimately the back line, yeah, it could get very, very rough, in my opinion. Very, very rough. If they play Adama and we have to play this back line. Yeah, for me, Kivior plays left center back if Gabriel isn't fit. If he is fit, I play Gabriel. There's no shadow of a doubt. Bring back the dynamic duo of Gabriel and Saliba. Now, midfield. There's no shadow of a doubt that I'm gonna play this midfield. Partey and Rice. Partey and Rice. Wait. Arsenal have to play against Fulham, and then in 3 days they have to play against Monaco, which is not great. In Champions League, playing against Monaco, it will be a rough one, I'm not gonna lie. But I'm still starting these two players. Against Monaco, maybe we can afford to be a bit more lenient, potentially, but the Monaco game will be rough. Monaco is a very tough team this year. But yeah, I'm playing Partey and Rice. We cannot afford to drop points. We cannot afford to get our midfield out-muscled, outran or anything. And we need some connections, the way they're going to press and everything. I think Partey and Rice will be very good against Smith Rowe, who is going to carry the ball. So I genuinely believe we will have Partey and Rice. Of course, there's no shadow of a doubt that Odegaard is going to start in the 10 role. There's no shadow of a doubt. Everyone knows that there are some players that are just undroppable for Mikel Arteta. If we look at the front side, I would start Saka, obviously, that's without shadow of a doubt. I think Havertz will start up top. The thing is, for me, on the left, I would actually start Leandro Trossard. That would be the starting 11 for me. That would be the starting 11 for me at the moment. Yeah, that is the starting 11 for me at the moment. Let Wanyeri cook. Personally, I don't think we won't see Wanyeri start a game until we will be playing Crystal Palace at the Emirates and EFL Cup. Until then, I kind of don't believe we will see Wanyeri start. Maybe there's a small chance he might start against Everton. Maybe there's a small chance. But for me, ultimately in Premier League, as long as Odegaard is fit, ready, fully recovered and everything, he must start. He genuinely must start. If we have decided a game, if it's like, let's just say 60th minute and it's like 3-4 nothing, yes, you can take Odegaard off and put in Wanyeri. I have no problem with that. But in current stage, in current situation, Odegaard has to start. Odegaard is one of those I kind of call undroppables in Mikel Arteta's system. Because he just loves the guy way too damn much. And the connections they have on the pitch, it's kind of inevitable in a way, if you get what I mean. I would say let Jesus cook, but he wouldn't do. That's the thing. You could say let him cook. Only thing Jesus currently can cook is salmonella. What Sterling can cook also is only salmonella at the end of the day. They cannot cook anything. It would be better to say let Sterling cook. But again, Sterling has done nothing as well. Yes, he assisted to Wanyeri's goal. I'm not denying it. Let's be real. In the cup, wasn't it in the cup? I'm already mixing the games up. I think it was the cup against Bolton, right? Right. Or Preston. Yeah, he assisted. Yes, I get that. But overall, whenever they have played in Premier League, it's been a massive hit and miss. I can see Jesus or Trossard or Sterling start against Crystal Palace. To some extent, if Arteta wants to rotate during the week, I can see maybe Sterling or Jesus start against Monaco. I genuinely can see that. Instead of Havertz or instead of Trossard, one of Sterling or Jesus actually might start against Monaco. There is a possibility. Genuinely, there is a possibility. Big up Pepper in the chat. Big up Pepper, my guy. Big up. We might see Partey right back again. I think that most likely could be the case. Because for me personally, it either at left back, we could see Tierney, although with his knees against Adama Traore, I don't see it, but I can see this being a thing. I'm not gonna lie, this could be a thing. This could be a thing solely because we need someone quick, agile, and physical to deal with Adama Traore on the right wing. And our left back options in general are not the strongest ones. So there might be a possibility of Timber actually playing left back solely for that purpose to shut down Adama Traore. There could be something in that as well. No, let Jesus stay on the bench. Dude, might as well sell him right now. It would be better to play Odegaard there. To be honest, that is the thing. I talked about is that Real are eyeing Gabriel. Let's be real. Real, when they came to watch Saliba against Spurs and all them men when we played, they were not just eyeing Saliba, they were also eyeing Romero and Gabriel. And they need to sign a center back desperately. And I wouldn't be surprised if they come in for a bid for one of them at some point, either in January somehow or in summer for sure. I wouldn't be surprised. Real Madrid are exploring their options, and that is the thing. Gabriel is a perfect Militao replacement. I can see that. For me, Militao is kind of like a blend between Saliba and Gabriel. Like pace of Saliba, the smoothness on the ball from Saliba, the strength and that I don't know, cockiness from Gabriel and stuff like that. It could get rough. Real Madrid away to Girona. Depends what Girona turns up. Because Girona have turned their season around. If we look at La Liga table in general, right? If we look at La Liga table, you can see that, well, you can't because Pepper is in the way. Girona are 8th. They had a very rough start of the season, but they have turned it around. But still, they have this hit and miss factor in them. They are not as consistent as they were last year. They have 2 losses in the last few games, but they are only 3 points away from 6th, 4 points away from 5th. They're not that far off. So it will be very interesting to see how that develops and how that goes. But it could be very, very tough game for Real Madrid pending against Girona, definitely. Stop it, Gabriel will stay. At some point, someone will go. That is inevitable. Sooner or later, someone will go. Dude, Eddie Nketiah. Dude, don't even. Yeah, he's a left-wing nor a striker. Trust me, there's a bigger chance that Real Madrid will sell PayPal, Nketiah, or whatever than Vinny Jr. No chance Vinny Jr. is gonna leave that left-wing position. No chance in hell. Nketiah, yeah. Yeah, you did. And big up, Nathan, since you are here. Specially for you. Special exclusive for Nathan. Was saving and hoping you come by. Gasperini has won Coach of the Month for November. Specially for Nathan. The biggest advocate for Gasperini I have seen in my life. Specially for you. He has won Player of the Month, lol, at 67. Is he 67? I think he's 67. 66. He has won Coach of the Month in Serie A for November. Specially save that for Nathan. Anyways, that could be our starting 11 if... There's a if. If Calafiori cannot play, there's a possibility. What the hell happened there? If Calafiori cannot play, and Gabriel also is not ready to play, that could be the starting 11. My gaffa, dude. I'm not dissing. He's been shit at Madrid so far. For the player he is, it's complete different story when you score against farmers and, I don't know, hillbillies in Ligue 1, or if you play against in La Liga and they actually cook you and you just cannot... Mbappe has missed like 5 out of his last 9 penalties for Madrid or something like that. Atalanta currently playing air conditioning, apparently, according to Nathan. What's the score? Lille beat Brest. Nice. Lille Brest. Sounds mad. Lille Brest. Jonathan David scored twice and assisted for Lille, by the way. 2 goals and an assist for Jonathan David. PSG struggling against Auxerre. Fabian Ruiz scored, but it was disallowed due to offside. PSG 0.35 xg. Wow. Stuttgart winning. Inter won against Parma. Di Marco, Barella, and Marcus Thuram scored. Atalanta AC Milan 1-1 for now. Charles de Ketelaere scored. Charles de Ketelaere is cooking at Atalanta, by the way. And Alvaro Morata scored for AC Milan. In other news, Christian Pulisic is injured and Ruben Loftus-Cheek came on for him. Anyways, back to the matter at hand. Reading the chat. What do you think of Rafael Palladino, Fiorentina's coach? Decent. They have hit some very big form. They have hit some very big form currently. Moise Kean is doing wonders at the moment. But he's good coach for Fiorentina. Let's see what he does throughout the whole season, because he could fall flat. It's because Ancelotti is ruining his confidence. You cannot put on a manager that one player is basically struggling heavily there. AC Milan have been decent, but they've never been excellent. And that is AC Milan's biggest issue. Since the, Pirlo, Maldini, Nesta and them man from those days, Dida, you remember Shevchenko and everyone since those days, when they, in like 2013, something like that, when that generation ran out and they started to, kind of the generational shift started for them. They haven't recovered properly. Yes, they won Serie A once, I think, or twice in that time. Giroud has won Serie A with them, but Zlatan was there carrying them and everything. But they haven't fully recovered from that. They have dropped some levels overall if you compare to them. It will be rough for them. Yeah, Fiorentina are on smoke right now, definitely. Dude, Nesta is very underrated. Nesta gets bad rep mostly by FIFA, EA, FC nerds because he has no pace on FIFA as an icon card. Only reason. Because they never seen him play. Same goes for Baresi, for example. He was about 10-15 years ahead of his time. Because the way he was actually playing center back position, he could fit in today's football quite phenomenally. Phenomenally. Genuinely. Who is that? Oh, Brahim Diaz. He was on loan. He was on loan from Real Madrid. Brahim Diaz, he was on loan from Real Madrid at the time. Or they sold him. Yeah, see? He was on loan 2 times from Real Madrid. And now he stayed at Real Madrid. He was 2 times on loan from Real Madrid. He never left, he was on loan. In which universe Gareth Bale has been underrated? In which universe? The fact that he likes golf more than football, maybe. But overall, what do you mean even? Stuttgart, nothing has changed so far. But yeah, we could see this starting 11 potentially tomorrow. Well, not tomorrow, on Sunday. If Calafiori and Gabriel are not fit enough. That is the case. That's the way I'm looking at this. Because mostly, I just cannot... If I see Zinchenko against Adama Traore on Sunday, I will hide behind my sofa and watch the game through my eyes like this from there. Because every time Adama Traore is gonna get the ball, Zinchenko will get the shoulder tackled straight into row Z while Adama runs clean into the net, pretty much. 100%. I already can see this in the future. I still say Prime Bale is better than Prime Neymar. To some extent, yes. To some extent, I agree with that. Overall, as a player as a whole, Neymar is better, I'm not gonna lie. But in the terms of the way he performed the most and the best, Bale has scored more important goals for Real Madrid even than Neymar has scored overall. So he's in the Champions League and everything, so... I can see that argument. It just depends on how you view better player, basically. Prime Bale, yeah, in that regard. The way I still remember how Bale ran around PK. Remember? Or no, Bartra. It was Bartra, never mind. Around Bartra where he did this run and he just scored between Valdez's legs. Yeah, Bale for Spurs as well. Played left back, played striker, played right wing, played left wing. He played whatever he needed to play. And the free kicks he scored, those were out of this world. Played Tierney with Calafiori. Dude, Tierney as well, with his knees against Adama, I'm very scared. I'm even more scared than Zinchenko in a way. Bale stood up way more. Yeah, that is the biggest thing. That's why I think Bale is better player. He has had a better career in terms of that than Neymar. 100%. In the big goals in Champions League finals and everything. 100%. As a player, with terms of skill, dribbling and everything, for me, Neymar obviously is much better in that regard. Arteta will play Gunnar Soares on 100%. Yep. Bigger chance he will somehow make a deal and call someone like, I don't know, Nacho Monreal out of retirement to play at left back. But yeah, or Kieran Gibbs or someone like that. You know, remember Kieran Gibbs at Arsenal? Dude, those were the days, wasn't it? Anyhow, I think on that note, we gonna end it here. Arteta himself at left back. Dude, no. Yeah. Wait, wrong one. For the game, I'm predicting 3-1 Arsenal. I wanted to say 2-1 Arsenal initially, but I think there will be something. There will be a penalty or something weird is gonna happen, and I'm predicting 3-1 Arsenal for the game against Fulham, because Fulham at home is a different beast, genuinely different beast. The game against Brighton yesterday as well. Brighton cooked them in the first half. In second half, they just got annihilated ultimately. So, Iwobi is genuinely insane at Fulham. Emil Smith-Rowe is also on fire. So we'll see. Emil Smith-Rowe will have extra motivation to play against Arsenal in that game. 100%. Extra motivation. Imagine him behind Martinelli shouting at him to track back. Dude. Tactics, guys. Tactics. Squeeze the lemon, run it back. Gabi. Cover. Back. Gabi, put your head up. Stop running out of bounds and everything. That it would be genuinely mad. No, he shouldn't. Just calm down. No chance. I want revenge for last year. I'm saying 3-1 Arsenal. 100%. At least we'll have a direct free kick taker with Arteta on the pitch. Dude, I wouldn't put my money on it. Genuinely. I wouldn't put my money on it. I want 5 goals, dude. I don't see it happening. I genuinely don't see it happening. If it happens, holy crap. I'm not gonna lie, holy crap. But I don't see it just happening. I'm saying 3-1 Arsenal. I think they will score at some point, somehow. But yeah. Pepper says 2-0. Yeah, ultimately, of course. I can say I want 3-1, 4-1, 4-2, whatever. But ultimately, end of the day, the goal is win, move on to Champions League against Monaco in 3 days. That's it. Dyche needs some... Exactly. Sean Dyche, if you're watching this, give your players some gravel, some extra bricks for breakfast, flush it down with some extra dirty diesel more oil, and just beat Liverpool. Thanks. Just put the 3 points in the bag. Yeah, just get the 3 points and move on. That's it. Ultimately. I can say I won 3-1, but I don't care if it's 1-0, 2-1, if it's, I don't know, they score an own goal and Arsenal don't have a shot on target, but as long as we get 3 points. That's it. Although I would cuss the hell out of the team if we don't have a shot on target against Fulham and we win by them scoring an own goal, by the way. I would cuss the hell out of the team. Anyways, I think on that note I'm gonna end it today. Had a fun stream, I'm not gonna lie. We looked at some Coleman music. We talked about David Raya, how underrated he is. We talked about the team and everything. It was pretty fun, I'm not gonna lie. So we'll see him. He already does that. Half the time he's somewhere between the center circle and the goal and the penalty box already. So not sure about that. Anyways, I'm gonna end it here. If you're new around here, of course, smash that like, subscribe. Still reaching for the stars and 400 subscribers by the end of this calendar year. Take care. Have a nice weekend, by the way. As I said in the start of the stream, not sure whether there will be a stream or not tomorrow. It all depends. But we'll see. But yeah, for today, I'm out. I want to chill. I want to relax. Had a hard week. You too. Relax, enjoy football, and have a great evening. Have a great weekend.